Three, two, one.
What I did was when I went back and visited the institution, I was allowed to go back in and do a speaking engagement. And I had seen guys who had been there for 25, 30 years and were still there. I said to them, I don't know what I'm going to do when I leave here. I just know I'm going to do something. And on my way home, it hit me. If you've been locked up for 25 years, 30 years, that means your parents have gotten older, right? They can't hit the highway like they used to. So there's a gap in the communication. And like you say, when you don't have family frequently visiting you, then you may eventually lose hope and just settle in, right? So what I started doing was reaching out to the guys who were incarcerated and asking, could I go and visit with their families? And I went in to visit with their families, and during the process of visiting with their families, I just developed a little Facebook page, and I gave them an opportunity to speak on how they felt about all, and this is 25, 30 years later, how they felt about how the lawyer handled their loved one, how the loved one being incarcerated all this time, how did it affect them? And I tell you the honest truth. A lot of those parents would tell the story, would vent that story as if it had just happened yesterday. Which means they've held on to that pain and that suffering every day for 25 years with no way to get it off of them. So I gave them a platform and an outlet to vent it, tell your story. So what does it do to the community? It destroys a whole household. It destroys a family. Just because, don't get me wrong, my son has committed, well, not my son, but my son has committed a crime, right? Do that stop me from loving my son? My daughter? My brother? My father? My mom? Do it stop me from, they don't. It don't. And a lot of times all we can see is the victim's family. But it destroys both families, right? The family of the ones who have the crime has been committed against them, and the family of the one who has committed a crime, right? So it takes a whole family and just throw that family into turmoil when we're talking about community engagement. Because if I can tell a story, I can sit here and tell a story as if it was yesterday and it was 25 years later. And I'm still telling you with an emotional expression to let you know that I'm still bitter about how that lawyer tricked me out $10,000 because he said he was going to get my son out. Or how the judge said this and mishandled my, and they tell it from details. So it destroys, it don't just destroy the one who committed the crime or the victim. It destroys the whole circle of people, right? And that's what developing prisons does for a community. Not just that, it destroys our workforce. When we're talking about, we got so many jobs, nobody wants to go to work. If we start locking people up for petty crimes, put them in rehab, start building a 3,000 bed mental health facility. Start building, add that to that preventive measures, dealing with all kind of resources that help people overcome drug addiction. Right, one side mental health, other side drug addiction, or whatever the case may be. Then we could put a cap on or stop the recidivism rate, or stop Sarah Huckabee from even thinking that she can take citizens' hard-earned tax dollars and go somewhere in the middle of nowhere and build a 3,000 bed prison when there's only a few hundred people that's probably in the county jails waiting to go to prison. But we have to understand that the families on both sides are destroyed. So how many communities are destroyed? A lot of them.